The button has been pushed. Hello and welcome. And we're alive. We made it. We're back. We just got back from a weekend trip to Atlanta, a boys trip with 4 of us. We didn't get to make it 6 of us because Tyler and Shay stayed back in Colorado.
We had to solve a murder.
A murder?
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, a tip of the hat. That reminds me of Billy. What happened there? What happened? What'd you guys do? Because I know Jared picked me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's 14 inches of snow.
We white knuckled our way there, baby.
And I still walked out of that bitch with only Birkenstocks on.
That is, you know what? Good for you, dude. But when you lose your toes, and I want one of them in a jar, and
we can shake it around.
Yeah. What did we learn, bro?
Magic paintball.
Yeah, no. Tyler and I went to what the fuck was that place called? It was the Adams Mystery Playhouse in Denver for I think a murder in Leadville. I can't remember what the exact title was, but it's a dinner theater where
like a murder mystery.
Yeah, murder mystery thing. So yeah, very.
Do you guys all get like cards that says like who your characters are or what you do? Or are you not involved in it like that?
Well, Tyler, you didn't have any. Nobody at our table had that, but the other tables did. I think, right?
So you bought the cheap ticket?
Yeah. No, I think it's just random.
We're
just late.
Okay. Also, we did show.
Late. No way. Tyler was late?
Yeah. So
Tyler was not late.
Yeah, it's a play basically that has a lot of audience interaction, and they're coming up to people in the audience and interviewing them and being like, "Who do you think killed Doc?" And it was a lot of fun. We had several beverages, and I was enjoying the prop pistols that Tyler rented way too much. Because homie here went full out on his costume. Would you spend like $100 renting like the full? He had a duster.
$100, yeah.
Yeah. People kept asking him if he was in the play, and he's like, nope, no, it was not.
You looked really good, man.
Be like, no, it was my wife's 30th birthday.
Yeah.
And you had the stash.
Yeah, that's right. You shaved off your mustache. You should have kept it.
My wife and I both were definitely dressed apart, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, wasn't
when you're trying to get away with murder, you got to change your appearance,
Oh yeah, no, we sat at the table, and everybody at our table was like, no, at the table they were like, "Are you guys a part of the show?" And I'm like, "No." And then we go to the bar. The bartender's like, "Are you a part of the show?" I'm like, "Dude, no, I'm not." You guys don't dress up for this stuff.
You could have had free drinks all night.
That's what I was just gonna say, Jared. Be like, yeah, thanks for my free beer.
Yeah.
I should have said yes.
Exactly. Next time.
So then how does it work? So you guys are sitting, they bring you food, and then they're just doing it's like a theatrical presentation of the storyline or something?
Yeah, they've got a dude that's kind of on stage and in the middle of the audience, moving back and forth between the two, that's kind of serves as a narrator and also a character. And then, I mean, it's kind of it's the best way to equate it would be it's a skit that's I don't know, an hour and a half long, hour maybe with the intermission. I'm not sure how long it was, but these people clearly understood the message or the mission or assignment, I should say. It's campy, but in a good way, and the back and forth between the audience and the people on stage was a lot of fun. So I would highly suggest people check it out.
Yeah,
they were busting Tyler's balls quite a bit because they were going and asking random people in the audience, who's from out of town? And what they're looking for is I came here from New York to meet my friend or whatever. And then they make some stupid joke. But Tyler was just I'm from Texas originally. My wife and I moved, kind of gave a more long story. So then, throughout the entire play, they kept being like, oh, and by the way, because he was in character, his name was Colt. What was your full name? It was Colt.
I don't know. Colt. What was it? Colt.
Colt
McGraw, dude. Colt McGraw.
Colt McGraw. Yeah. And they were like, in case anybody wondered, Colt is living in Golden now via Texas, and they just offshoot and talk about it, and everybody'd laugh at him. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, a lot of jabs, for sure.
Well, I mean, I know that's what we do with Tyler too. So well deserved. Bravo to them. So the pictures were badass. The Shay. Your trigger finger wasn't good, and you go, that's what you do when you want to shoot someone, asshole.
Yeah.
So did you kill anybody? What happened? Who got murdered? What was the deal?
The story of the thing is it's about there's a guy that's running a protection racket in this tiny town on a saloon, and somebody in the saloon poisons the guy, and then you have to figure out who did it. So it's like a whodunit type of thing. And then I believe Tyler and I don't agree with the way the story went, because they went with the obvious solution. But I think it was that other woman.
Yeah. Sadie Mae,
Yeah.
dude.
Sadie Mae. Yeah, Sadie Mae. She's
We were
too
the only
quiet.
table that voted Sadie Mae, by the way.
Sadie Mae.
Yeah, right. Sadie Mae. That wasn't who they said did it, but she was too quiet. We were the only table that picked that person, and we were so
these
ready.
Geniuses think that they can write the show better than the people that put on the show, and they're just.
Listen, you didn't see her, man. She was too nice. She was sketchy. I don't know.
Dude.
She wore all black.
She played you, bro. She played.
I don't buy it.
So did they play any bluegrass at the show?
No.
God.
They did have a sing-along with the Macarena, and we were considering screaming about train songs, but we figured it wasn't the time and the place.
Based on Tyler's outfit, I thought we'd for sure get 7 weeks in counting.
I was about to scream it, dude. I was about to scream it.
Bro, so can we remake that and make a spoof video? Because that would be epic.
I mean, that would be something fun.
So we got train songs. We got murder songs. We got 7 weeks in county. We got a lot, you guys. Yeah. So actually, my best friend who's on here with us, Greg, we saved him from his Christian rock band tour, and we got him to meet us in Atlanta for Billy. Jared came, and Jared's cousin Nolan came, and so
Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan. Sorry, I don't trust you, so you're not on the podcast. Love you.
What's the shirt? Is it the shirt?
He would have been late.
Listen, we're going to
sleeping through his alarm.
We're going to talk about the shirt. So it was originally just going to be Jared and I, and we're like, bro, we got to go catch at least one show. Last year we had gone to Asheville, so we're like, oh, let's try to do Nashville. Nashville is super expensive. Ryman tickets are super hard to get. So we're like, we got to go to one in the South. Atlanta was really easy to get to. The tickets were super cheap. And so we got tickets. Eventually Nolan jumped on, and then Greg came on last minute. I think it was 2 weeks before the show. He got guilt tripped into coming.
You fuckers tried that with me.
I was driving.
It didn't work.
We tried hard.
Bro. We tried hard with Tyler too.
Yeah.
I was in the car ride home from Milwaukee, and I was like, I don't have any shows on the schedule. Where can I go next? And so Atlanta Billy was the way to go.
Yeah, and so the way he funded it was he put a bunch of posters up in the poster groups, and he texts us. He's like, hey, bump my post so I can sell these posters.
Did it work?
So it did work. It worked. So he was able to rally the troops. What was that?
15 of them sold.
Jesus Christ.
Fire sale.
That's when you know we have a problem, right?
Yeah.
But so it was dope. So we all aligned our flights. Jared and I got on the same flight. We were flying out at 6 a.m. on sorry, not Spirit, but I mean, it was the same
Frontier.
thing. It was Frontier Airlines. There was 14 inches of snow. This dude comes running up my unplowed road in a Buick. I run out and I'm like, man, are we going to make it? Or is this going to happen? And we got there in time, flew in. I had this genius idea before we went because of social media and TikTok and all the terrible things. I saw bachelorette parties, how they buy dick shirts and your dirty whore shirt and all that stupid fun stuff. And I was like, we're doing a boys trip. I'm at least going to ask them if we want to do a stupid t-shirt exchange that's Billy themed. And so they all agreed. And for me, begrudgingly, definitely, because they're like, God damn it, Cody, what are you doing? Nolan was so worthless that he didn't even buy a shirt. We had to get one on lot while we were there. You did get a sick shirt out of it.
That's true.
So I immediately was scrolling through every Billy page and trying to find fan art and things. And I was going through Etsy and I was scrolling through and I found this shirt and I was like, holy shit, this shirt is fucking perfect. And I was like, there's only one of us that can pull it off. No one out here, but he's this 25, 26-year-old little ripped Midwest kid, right? And has no problem with energy or confidence or anything like this. And so I bought him a pink crop top that says, but daddy, I love you. And it's a heart with Billy strings in the middle of it. So we get on the plane, we all meet at the airport and we go immediately to merch line. And then we go to the bathroom and I made a video where we exchange the shirts and go into the bathroom, come back, walk it off. Jared, you killed the walk.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Greg, I made a Photoshop shirt. I made a Photoshop. Yeah, he definitely has done that before.
Yeah.
For somebody else, for someone else. But Greg made a Photoshop where it's the angry girlfriend where she's like pulling and the boyfriend's looking ahead. And so it was Rick's head on the angry girlfriend from Goose. And then Greg is the dude looking forward and Billy is looking all pretty at the front and it says love and regret on it. So it was pretty fucking epic. He hated that he didn't wear a shirt with a picture of himself on it. He got me a Hawaiian shirt with a goat on it, so it was like fucking perfect. I will rock that all the time. No worries. And then Nolan was the last, and it was so great because he had like this little vest on and he came out in the video and he unzipped it and popped it out. And I shit you not, within 3 minutes, people were taking selfies with him in the hallway, being like, that's fucking great, right?
Then this is at the airport, right?
No, we went to the merch line because Nolan didn't have his shirt. Our plan was to do it at the airport, but Nolan fucked that up for us. But that's why he got punished with the worst shirt.
I keep forgetting this was an indoor venue, so those videos I saw were inside the stadium.
Dude, it was actually pretty dope. So we got there expecting that we'd have to do the poster line outside, and they're like, "Oh no, we're inside." Cool. The boys can attest that before we even went to do the shirt thing, I got accosted in the hallway. Hey, Cody, double fingers. Like, I was wondering what the presence was going to be like, right? Because like in Colorado, people know me, know the hat. We've dealt with it. I didn't know what the reception was going to be like down south. And so, yeah, of course they do. But they also have no problems with you whatsoever. Everyone's like, hey, where's Shay? Like, fuck you, dude.
Did people ask where I was?
Yeah, of course they did.
Hilarious.
People, this person talked me down for 55 minutes. Somebody was like, hey, they were yelling at you. I went and got lunch, came back, and they were still yelling at you. So like that was fun. So the conversation started. So what I always tell people is I know that I do things to stir the pot, right? And I do that on purpose. But you guys know like that's who I am. Like I'm a shit talker, but I mean well. So like I know there's a lot of emotions in the community and there's a lot of misconception of who I was because there was also a ton of people that came up to me and was like, "Hey, I fucking hated you." But then I listened to some of the podcasts and you weren't that bad. And I was like, thanks.
I like how you weren't that bad.
Yes.
That's
it. Literally, this couple came up in the middle of set break on the second show. She was in like this fuzzy white jacket and he's like, I love you. And she's like, I didn't. And I was like, okay. And so like with the emotionally charged stuff, I always try to respond. They had a lot to say, right? They had an idea of who they thought I was, which was someone that promoted violence, someone that was egotistical and only doing this for myself and like just a lot of stuff, right? And so I let them get it off their chest and I asked if I could have a turn now. And I talked about gatekeeping because this is someone that's very prominent in the community. And I explained why there's a perception of gatekeeping, right? And I said like, hey, yeah, that's great that you help people get to the front or you help them get in the shows. But if it's the same 16 people that you're helping all the time, that's gatekeeping, right? Now, It would be way different if that person waited in line, got a first 100 band, and then gave it to a local who does not have the opportunity to stand in time and ride the rail, because now you're letting locals get in and experience their local show up front rather than somebody that's like consistently going. So I don't know how well that was received. I do know that that person did come back a couple of times and they were having more constructive conversations with me. So at that point,
is this, I'm sorry, this is, is this like somebody, and I'm you're intentionally not using someone's name, obviously, but like, is this somebody like coming to you up like you're standing waiting for the show to start and they're like, I got a bone to pick with you? Or
it was the moment we walked in the door before merch.
Oh, okay. Bro, so this is
I didn't even make it 10 feet into State Farm Arena before it was, hey, Cody, double bird. And like, I don't know if that was a test to see like if I would be aggressive in my response, which I most definitely was not, and I never am. Like you guys,
hey, we threw a chair at you, and you thought about throwing it back, but it was
yeah, fucking but that's
which,
like,
to be clear, would have been deserved. But anyway, continue.
for sure, but like people set you up, right? And so those were things. And so like sometimes I feel like, yes, I'm gonna be baited into stuff, but what I wanted to do was have a conversation. I was putting my time in, I was doing these things. So initially I was like, what the fuck did I step into coming down here? Like, how many of these people are gonna be pissed? But then realistically, like after that, there wasn't a lot of negative at all. It was awesome. We got the foils of the poster that we wanted.
The poster's so sick.
Dude,
that foil is top.
So mad, dude. I've been all over that. Yeah.
Is it dragons? But then the single days are dragons holding trains, right?
Try not to violate my rule if I don't buy posters for shows I've not been to, but like that was real tempting. I was like, anyway.
Well, I have many that I didn't go to just because I love the fucking poster. And so we didn't know what was coming. Obviously, like with the dragon, you want to think like, oh, Enter the Dragon is going to happen. So the first night we went straight to merch. So we all had our backpacks. Our hotel was a few blocks away. We were right by a transportation hub. So Greg almost got his face bitten off by a homeless dog when we were walking over there. It was definitely
He wasn't in Minnesota anymore, that's for sure.
Oh, God, he doesn't know the bad parts of Minnesota. Northeast is going to come show Jared what's up. But so like it ended up being a super nice hotel. It was less than a 10-minute walk. We had to like go through a parking ramp and then through this like seedy shit bridge because literally one of the transients had like taken a shit and piss right in the middle of the path. And we're like, oh, we don't want that squishing between our toes. But the hotel was super close. It was really nice. We dropped our shit off and went straight back into line. We probably got back there at 6:00 and doors were at 6:30. We were so surprised how few people were in line. Like, it was insane. Like, in Colorado, if you go to a show 30 minutes before doors open, you are hundreds of people behind.
That's always like whenever I think about going to see shows in other states, that's always something that comes up for me. I always think about that because like they're doing 2 nights in Lexington, Kentucky, and I like kind of looked at it, and then at least when I checked, the flights were outrageous for round trip. I'm not paying $600 or $700, whatever it is, but it's still an option. But I'm just kind of spitballing with that. But like even there, like Lexington's that's a big bluegrass area. I feel like it still wouldn't be as crazy as here. And like that kind of ties into whenever they interview the band, and the band's like, yeah, Colorado's like 20% more than everywhere else, so it kind of tracks.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Greg or Jared, but because of that, because like there wasn't a ton of people there early on, it was a Friday show. We got in and it was sparse at first, and I was like, oh fuck, is this going to be like one of those shows where they're not super into it?
Yeah, because I've been to shows where they're not.
I read online
or the crowd's a little off.
A lot of people were sitting down for the show in the stands and stuff, which was more than normal. But I liked how there wasn't like a crazy amount of people there right when doors open. It's not the same as when you go to a show in Colorado and like half the people that are going to the show are there like 2 hours early before doors.
Well, what about like in Minnesota? Because I know like, so what I was using as an example for one of the shows where they weren't super into it, Billy and the boys had come from, I think, Iowa and came up to play Surly in Minneapolis, and it was like 95 degrees and it was so hot. And like the energy just wasn't as like prominent as it normally is. And then they went up to Moorhead the next day and it was way cooler and they fucking burnt the place down. And it is still one of my favorite shows. So I was wondering if you play so many shows, can you really have that much energy all the time, right? And Jared, I know you had a similar experience. Where was it? In Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago in multiple years, different runs.
And those are the ones where there's been fights, right?
Yeah, I think that was maybe 23, and then 24 night 1 last year. I don't know. Nolan and I just thought it was maybe a little off, and maybe it was us, maybe it was the performance enhancers. You never know.
I mean, but, I'm willing to bet it was Nolan's fault that the band played bad.
Everything is always Nolan's fault.
It's so fun to pick on your friends when they're not here. Yeah, dude.
I am not allowing him in the room. Okay.
When
If he's wearing the shirt, he can come on the pod. Nolan's great, and he's a team player, and so like.
What do you mean when you say they're not into it? Because like 90, other than going to New Year's Eve, which of course they threw down for, I've never seen them outside of Colorado. So like whenever they play here, I don't think I've ever seen them throw down here and it not been like a very high energy show.
I just feel like sometimes like Billy really starts like dancing or getting up in the stage and like playing to the crowd, like really like getting into it. So I always joke like there's two versions of Jared Walker, which is like the straight leg bounce, and then when he does the inside out leg bounce, you better fucking watch out because he's gonna burn the house down. So like I look for little things like that, and I just felt like Minneapolis, I definitely know, like go listen to the two shows between Minneapolis and then Moorhead, and you can hear like even in like the rips, right?
Yeah.
Just like how much faster they're picking or what's going on. And like, think about being in a fucking tour bus for 20 some odd days.
Like, let's be clear, sometimes
95-degree humid ass
sometimes
weather.
You're just fucking tired too, dude. I get that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so like they came out, and do you guys remember what they opened the first night with?
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Was it Fire on My Tongue?
It was.
It was.
Yeah, I remember that from the replay at 5 a.m., you fucks.
Oh, God, yeah. So fucking Greg... No, listen, Greg and his Christian rock band, he's like, have you guys ever ran it back? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And explain it, Greg.
Well, after the show, when you're wide awake and can't sleep for a while, for whatever reason that might be, what are you going to do? Watch some garbage TV show or rewatch the coolest concert you saw? Why not?
So this kid literally goes on Nugs and rewatches the video stream of the show he just watched. And I
listen, Greg, I've done it.
I was making fun of him. And then during the show, while it was happening, I was going, I can't wait to rewatch this. So yeah, they start with Fire on My Tongue, and immediately like I'm like, okay, don't need to worry shit about the energy. They were coming in, and I think the fourth song was when Billy and the boys drug me into the deep water, and it was Hide and Seek.
Yep, and that was a good one. I listened to the first night today, and that Hide and Seek was incredible.
That was probably one of my favorite hide and seeks that I have ever heard. I will not lie to you. There is a couple minutes into that. Like I said, I'm in the deep water and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, what is going on? And then I like snap back into reality and life. And it was so fucking intense. And we were having such a great time. And of course, being the idiot that I am, I brought the highlight yellow fucking jacket.
So everybody could see you.
Bro, it was insanity. There was one point when I thought that I was just like having a little too much fun. But people came up to me the next night and they're like, bro, they turned off all the lights and they just put you on a spotlight. And my shirt was just reverberating color, just glowing.
Dude, it's like a fucking fluorescent. So after Hide and Seek was
the first night, the first set closed 7 weeks and counting.
Yeah, 7 weeks and counting. Yeah, but that Black Hat, there was Blackjack County Chain, which I fucking love that shit.
Yeah,
it was so good. It was so good.
It was awesome.
And that's what's cool is like he obviously picks these like songs geographically, right? And then I'm pretty sure it's been 8 shows in a row now with at least one Train song. And I haven't confirmed with Train songs yet, but I think there's been 14 Train songs in 8 shows.
Wow.
Which is like,
wow.
Dude,
still bitter I missed that one.
Train song, baby. Well, bring it in the Georgia. So the first half set was amazing.
Amazing.
What was the orange that night, you guys? Was the orange on Friday night? No, I'm talking about the lady and the guy that gave the orange.
Yeah. Oh, that was definitely night one,
grooming
brother.
of Nolan.
Yeah, that was definitely the first night.
Bro, no, so I am not kidding. Obviously, we're all having a super good time. And there's a couple next to us and they're having fun. But they're asking some really odd questions and they're a little.
Were they trying to pick up Nolan?
Bro,
yes, 1,000%. My boy.
1,000%. And listen, what you have to remember is he's in the cutoff.
He's in
the "But Daddy, I Love You" shirt. Okay,
he got that
like
little
he was all
midriff
for
showing,
it.
dude.
Yes, he was asking for it.
And so, Greg, what did she say at one point?
Okay, so at one point, awkwardly, everyone.
Hey, hold on, you're cutting in and out. And Tyler, can you mute unless you're talking? Because for some reason there's a fuzz.
We're getting some feedback. Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Yeah,
you're too handsome, Tyler. That's your problem.
All right, go.
So she was kind of awkwardly positioned, and I could tell she wasn't like sure where to stand. So I just gave her a fist bump and said, "You're doing great," just so she would get some confidence and feel good or whatever about everyone being cool around her. And then after that, she kind of gave me some like weird, pleasant eyes that made me feel cool.
Those are called the fuck me eyes.
And then I gave her boyfriend or whoever a fist
straight
bump.
out of Nolan's
He
mouth.
would know, like, hey man, I'm not trying to have a moment with your girl or anything. And then he like gives me a weird look, and then he gives me an orange. I was so confused. I just put the orange in my pocket, but I realized now they were maybe saying, "You're gonna need some energy later, bud."
Yeah.
So,
some electrolytes, bud.
But so it was funny because like they were stroking on Nolan, and this lady was like, "Yeah, I'm divorced," and she was there with her new boyfriend, like laying it on thick, and Nolan has no clue, like absolutely no clue, and we're like, "Dude," and he's like, "Wait, that's what was happening?" And we're like, "Jesus fucking Christ, man." Like, yes, she wanted to put you in her back pocket and bring you home. And he just...
Please tell me she was taller than he was.
Oh, of course she was.
Probably
who's
was,
not?
yeah.
Like, who's not? I mean, so... Yeah, no, I love you. So we're at set break and we're having a moment. These people leave and like Nolan and I are just we're having a great time. And then, God, what did they open the second set with? This is what's so terrible about
the second set on the first night was In the Clear, yeah.
Yes, and so I was talking to Jared. I don't know if the rest of you guys hear this like I do, but those first few notes of In the Clear really sound like John Hartford's steam-powered aeroplane.
A little bit,
I hear it.
A little bit.
Can you hear that? Because like sometimes I'm like, fuck, Billy Failing's gonna burn this motherfucker down. And then it's like, nope, that was In the Clear. So I don't know what it is, but I definitely feel like there's something. But that song is a fucking heater too.
Yeah, I love that shit. That's such a good fucking song, and it's like it's one of those songs that if I had heard it for the first time not knowing who Billy Strings was, I would assume it was a cover of some classic bluegrass song or some other song, because it's kind of because I don't know what it is about it, but like it kind of reminds me of, maybe it's just because they talk about roads in it, I don't know, but like when he covers Running on Empty.
Yep.
That's so funny. That same kind of vibe because
people were asking us what we wanted to hear, and Jared and I were like, running the route, Running on Empty.
God, so good, dude. Fucking that Running on Empty from when I saw them. Well, I've got the Mission one and the one from New Year's Eve when I saw them. Those are back to back on my playlist on Nugs. I love that shit.
Oh, motherfucker. I forget.
My New Year's shows that I did once.
That being said, we should probably give a fucking update because
this guy, he got his nutshell.
I did get a nutshell, but I don't give a shit about that. What I also got to do...
Shut your whore mouth! It's important. Anyway.
I got to wire Margaret Dauphin
the
money from the fundraiser. So, let's go. We ended up raising...
She is such a sweet lady.
$25,113. So, it was fucking awesome. Made a shitload of money. Stripe took a fuck ton of that. And then there were some shipping costs, and I think at the end of the day, we sent $23,225.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Something like that, yeah.
Just less than $2,000 in some fees and things like that. I was able to talk to Margaret. I got some great information from her, was able to connect. She wants to make something for us. Her and Matthew are going to make a video thanking the community because she was so grateful for what everyone had done for us and everything that was going on. And it was super fucking cool because while I was in Atlanta, I met at least 7 people who had come up to me and said, hey, I donated an item for that raffle. And it was like, I gave him a hug, fucking thank you. And I just want to say how proud I am of the community for what we were able to do and how happy Margaret was and how she's going to use this money to keep her son's name alive. So Drew's name, let's never forget it. I did want to do that because we had not given an update for anybody that had gotten prizes. From everything that I have received has been mailed out. Every vendor should have gotten an email to every single winner asking to confirm addresses and then sending out the items to there. If you guys do not get those items, please feel free to email us. We can go back and see what the vendor says or what's going on, but sometimes the USPS has been taking a long time. I know as a poster fiend, I've had stuff take weeks to actually end up showing up. So I just want everybody to know that everything has been sent out, or we have, like, there's a couple people here locally that I have posters that I didn't want to roll so that I could get to them and do some stuff. Bravo to every single one of us, because that was fucking awesome. Drew's family and Margaret were so pleased with everything that we did. So I'm super stoked on that. Everyone was like, hey, thank you for what you did. And I didn't do shit. It was all of us. So appreciate that. But let's go back into Friday night, because I felt like it was it was definitely more psychedelic on Friday night. It was pulling you in. God, I should have looked at the set list before I started.
I have it up in front of me. What questions do you have?
Well, can you just run through what the songs were? Because then that'll probably spark my memory.
Set one was Fire in My Tongue, My Sweet Blue-Eyed Darling, While I'm Waiting Here, Hide and Seek, Blackjack County Chain, Hollow Heart, Kentucky Mandolin. I've lived a lot in my time, Taking Water, Ice Bridges, 7 Weeks of County, In the Clear. This is In the Clear is the start of set 2.
Yep.
Sally Johnson, Don't Be Calling Me at 4 a.m. I really like this version of it. I'm not sure what it was. I listened to it today. CD Stretch, Must Be 7, Psycho. Also, Sidebar.
This for me is right. It's turning up hard right now.
Dude, the Saney stretch is when it starts getting fucking insane.
I want to mention this because I was listening to this set on the way to the gym today with Alex, and if you listen to the way he sings Psycho, I don't know, a year or two ago, it's very different. He's hitting more high notes, and it's really interesting.
His range and
the range is getting better, and it sounds fucking rad.
He's also being more theatrical when he's singing. He's doing the crazy eyes.
Yeah.
And I looked at somebody, I go, ooh, Crazy Eyed Billy.
Yeah, Crazy Eyed Billy. I
love
that
telling
shit.
The story.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really interesting, and I really like it.
It was so. Jared, you're completely right. That Saney stretch started to play into it, and then it just started to fucking go.
Because we got the Saney stretch, 7, Psycho, Train. And by the time we got to Train, everybody's jumping and screaming, you know. I mean, it's...
I don't have FOMO. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, no.
Hey, can't say we didn't invite you guys.
I know. I know.
It's not like I didn't try to drag you with
if everybody wants to know why I wasn't there, it's because they told me I wasn't invited.
Yeah, well, what's also funny is all 4 of us, Greg, Jared, Nolan, and I, were in the hotel room being like, I can't wait till Tyler and Shay join us. And it's this 6 of us burning our place down. So
6-man wrecking ball.
To be clear, and I've said this a million times, if I wasn't going to be at Winter Wondergrass next weekend, I'd have been there. But
no, for
Sounds like your priorities are not in order.
Well, no, man, that's going to be fun.
No, Winter Wondergrass is solid.
That's an endurance. That's an endurance run, dude.
Is sick, and it is.
So then after Train, because that wasn't the end of the set.
I'm sorry, but to me, that's just where it turns up. So we get to
Train. Sorry, guys. Train, Moody River, Long Forgotten Dream.
Moody River, which was a first time played.
I was jealous you guys got that. Long Forgotten Dream, Midnight on the Highway, Fiddling Around, Turmoil and Tinfoil, Into Enter the Dragon, and then the encore was Gone a Long Time.
We got to talk about Fiddling Around because
how was that?
Fucking new Fiddling Around, which was insane.
Yes, man, and that's no, man.
We felt like we were the only people singing and jamming
and
around.
You were in the South, right? And I feel like by the end of the song, then they started to like pick up the lyrics. But Greg, I don't know, maybe we're just a little pretentious. Do you feel like the crowd was in? Because you've been to a bunch of Colorado shows. Do you feel like they were into it and singing those songs as much as in some other places?
I don't really know. It was hard to notice being as close as we were. I feel like I didn't look back and look at everyone, but I didn't really notice people singing. So I also didn't notice any choppers. So
this is what we call PC Greg. Fuck Greg. We're here for hot takes. These fucking clowns didn't know the songs to fiddle around. Okay, and
Cody, I can't imagine why people confront you at shows.
Shut up, Shay.
I felt like a lot of people sang along to the new songs. But when you get to a venue of this size, you're just getting a lot of people who are seeing Billy for the first time or just listening to his newer stuff. They've been checking him out the last couple of years, and they don't know these covers. Maybe they're not on Nugs.
To be fair, though, the last show I was at, my wife said she noticed everybody singing along in front of us, and I had noticed none of them. So I think I'm kind of oblivious to the people around me sometimes.
Because you're 3 feet over the top.
Was that at Goose or was that at Billy?
Is like below me, so I don't even notice.
Man, I gotta be honest, Greg, I don't believe we've ever met in person, but when you guys sent out the group picture, I was like, who the fuck is this goddamn giant in the back that makes Cody almost look like a normal-sized person?
But seriously, I don't think they fucking knew the songs to Fiddling Around. And
no, they didn't.
It was amazing, and I'm pretty sure that ran right into Turmoil and Tinfoil. And it was fucking heavy from the go. And I looked at the boys and I go, this bitch is about to get diabolical. And it fucking did. And then did they have, I'm trying to remember the visuals from that, but did they have the home house and the lava going for that on the back screen? Do you remember?
I believe they did.
Oh, no.
Great question. Great question.
Check the tape on that one.
Yeah.
Got to run it back.
No, I'm pretty sure, but I don't also remember that one.
But yeah, so they went Turmoil with Tinfoil, and then they played Bruce Lee's theme song, Enter the Dragon. Yeah, dude. It was.
I haven't actually gotten to that, so as I was like listening to the stream on Nugs today, I think the last thing I heard was Train, and then I haven't gone through and finished it.
Dude,
so I haven't even gotten night 2 yet. So, I'm sitting it on my desk watching it on my phone or whatever, but like, it's just I need to throw it on the big TV downstairs.
Okay, so they go in, they play Enter the Dragon. It is one of the heaviest Turmoils and Tinfoils, and that song hits, right? Like, just hits. And did they play an encore?
Yeah, Gone a
long time.
Yeah. And then after that, it was the end of the show. I remember I was jacked up, yellow jacket, and these 2 girls come up to me and they go, hey, you seem loud. Can you get people together for a group photo? So then
they weren't wrong.
So
that's amazing.
They were not wrong. So of course I'm like, felt like scaring people.
Yeah.
There was a fuck ton of people that came together for that. And yeah, I got a little jacked up. I definitely played hype man.
I gotta say, one of the
that's why you're missing from the photo too. I guess I was wondering. I see Colin, I see Jared, I see Greg.
I'll send you the selfie that I took because I didn't feel like
It's so wild going to shows with Cody because like to be clear, I've only known you guys for what, about a year, a little over a year, something like that.
Yeah,
about a year.
And up until I met you, I was the guy people said, "Hey, you're loud. Yell for the group photo." It's just like, yes.
But you are fucking loud. I just talk over you.
I am.
And I'm an
Yeah. No, that's fine.
But that's fine. Well, it's not. But we'll get there. But so
it's okay, baby.
So yeah, so we take the group photo. I'm screaming, we'll see you tomorrow night, and then we go out. And do you guys remember what happened when we were leaving? And I was just befuddled by it. Every single employee in that place stopped where they are, lined up.
Yes, that was awesome. They were waving goodbye. They were fucking jamming 7 Weeks in County, I believe. They had a big fucking speaker.
That's cool.
Thanking us for coming.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Like, Southern hospitality is fucking real.
It was real.
It is.
Even when the crackheads were offering us drugs, it was with a sir. Like, hey, sir, you want to buy any crack? And that's like what the best part was. Greg, we're walking back right through Shitbridge, and Greg's like, Atlanta's activated at night, and it fucking is, because that place becomes a different beast at night.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
for sure,
dude.
I've had a couple of really fun nights in Atlanta that I vaguely remember.
Well, we were definitely...
It gets like that, yeah.
We were on the way there. So it was so different to us that we're like, are we walking down the right street? Like,
the place we were supposed to be, but All
But
the streetlights were on.
Then we saw the
Cars were bustling
transients.
around.
Yeah, then we saw the transients. We knew we were in the right spot, and we went inside and we went upstairs. Why did we go? Did I puke at that point, or was that not till the next day?
That was the next day, based on the text messages I got.
I needed a sweatshirt.
No, this is what happened. Old Swedish Minnesotan was like, "Oh, I don't need a sweatshirt. I'm not cold," and all he wore was the Photoshop shirt.
Yes.
And
then we went and got food.
Freezing.
What was the weather like down there?
Cold as fuck. It was
cold.
30 degrees.
Like, okay, define cold as fuck.
30
like,
degrees in the sunshine, and then less at night.
Yeah, and that's a humid 30, right?
Yeah,
Denver, Colorado, you got a dry 30.
Yes,
yeah,
you can wear shorts and Birkenstocks and a dry 30.
Hey, fuck off.
Georgia 30.
You know
know
how good it was for my dusty cankles?
Oh my God.
It really helped get some moisture back in those things. But yeah, Greg helped navigate us home. He needed to get a sweatshirt, and then there was no like after party or after show, so we didn't know what we were going to do. And Nolan is bouncing off the walls like Tigger. And so we had to, and he was still in the shirt. He needed to get out of the shirt. That's also what needed to happen. We tried to go to Mr. Fry's, and like all four of us walk up to the door. It's like this super narrow, tiny place, and we're all like,
well, there was nowhere to sit, first of all, and that's, we needed somewhere to sit down for a minute.
So we ended up at this place called Goodfellas for some pizza, and I spent $70 on food, and I bought us so much food that none of us even fucking touched. But I will tell you that the Coca-Cola in Atlanta, Georgia hits different.
Dude, the food and drink in Atlanta is next level.
It was phenomenal. Yeah. So then we went back. We're like, all right, we got food. Let's go eat. And then we're going to watch some TV, watch some movies. We get 3 hours into TV time. Jared is trying to sleep at this time. He's spraying me with fucking water bottles because he's a dickhead and I'm being loud. Surprise, surprise.
What was the hotel situation? Is there like
two king size beds, 4 men sleeping back to back? Okay.
My God!
You guys were nuts.
What did that room smell like at the end of that fucking night?
It didn't smell good.
It was fine.
Weed and ass.
If it wasn't for me puking, it would have smelled a lot better. And I did it into the wastebasket. But still, it was so like it had like a living room area.
Wait! You puke in the toilet. Who pukes in the wastebasket? Did you move it out of the room? Did it just stew in there?
You haven't seen me. I am a violent puker. There's like a like a radius of
it was a pretty low rider toilet. It would have been
calling.
I fucking died. God, I swear to God, at some point we're gonna get stuck in the hotel room together, Cody, and you're gonna do that, and I'm gonna kick you so hard in the dick for not puking in the toilet.
Well, listen, the only reason I didn't puke in the toilet was because it was like a fucking little person's toilet, and I would have had to lay on my stomach to fucking vomit into the toilet. I was basically doing a squat every time I was trying to take a shit. But bro, so listen,
our room was right next to the stairwell, and I know you like to yak in stairwells too.
Yeah, only well-lit church stairwells. Okay, that's my
dude. Yes.
Okay,
I'm so proud of you guys.
I am a puker.
Let's be clear. This is good for the brand, and I love it.
I am a puker. Okay, I am 1,000% a puker. And the
we've got it covered. Cody pukes. I pass out,
bro. And I puke so hard I burst blood vessels in my forehead. So then my wife is always like, "What the fuck did you do last night?" Sorry, babe. But listen. It was so fucking worth it because I felt so much better after that. So we go, we're watching TV, puking, super fun, great. It's like 4:30 in the morning and I start running back the concert. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to do it. These motherfuckers fell asleep on me. They fell asleep on me and I only got, I think, 5 songs into the first set.
They were having a better time watching reality TV.
We did have a good time watching some reality TV. It was a little aggressive. I mean, sometimes you just gotta relax with your boys watching the Bravo network or whatever it was.
That's right.
Well, but I mean, like,
everybody likes to fall in love. Everybody.
Yeah, what time did that show end?
What time did what show end?
The concert.
Probably like 11:30, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like,
if
I'm traveling, I'm gonna be fucking up till.
Grown-ass men bought $90 worth of pizza and chicken wings and watched 3 hours of a fucking dating show on reality TV, okay? And Greg brought it up. because he's like, hey, check this out. And I was like, no, we just got to give it 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes turned into 3 fucking hours. And it was awful and great all at the same time, because guess what? We did it again the second night. But so next morning we wake up. Whoa, bro, that's what everybody says. I feel like I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice
guys.
You are
For the
a nice
record, I just, Cody's super nice, and I feel real safe in his arms. So I just want to throw that out there,
Cody is really nice.
I feel safe around him.
And
I
a piece
snuggled
of
with
shit.
him a bit
What?
in our bed.
Yeah, you guys
Well-
talk about
well,
it like some
He
predator.
speaks up to the chompers behind us, so
Yeah.
I enjoy Cody.
Dude, I speak up to everybody all
You
the
do.
time.
Yeah.
And I try to do it in a nice way. So the next morning, Jared works for Breckenridge Brewery, and he hooked us up with fucking tickets for Sweetwater Brewing was having a festival. STS9 was headlining it the same night as the second night of Billy. So obviously I'm not going. But Greg and I were like, we're going to fucking go. So we went. Greg went as Drew, did you go as Jared because you couldn't spell Nolan's last name?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, so then we got to go to the Rock Poster Society, saw our homie Owen Murphy, Tom Shaw,
Nice.
Zaz. We saw, because there was nobody there, we got to talk to every single one of those artists. So you better believe I had asked every single one of those guys, hey, you want to do the podcast? So expect to see a lot more poster artists coming up in the next few weeks, months, whatever it is. It was super dope because a lot of them already fucking knew me from the poster folding thing. They didn't know about shit else, but they knew about the poster folding. It was pretty fucking. It
You
was.
should do that more. Do it with like a really nice one. Just to fold it in, 16 fold,
Listen,
back in the pocket. Start wasting more money doing that.
I will.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe, and Cody's about to fold a
GoFundMe,
Sperry.
because
I
we're gonna
will
need-
1000% fold anything that I don't have to pay for out of my pocket.
That's a great, yeah.
Okay. So the way that we did it in Asheville was everybody threw in $5. So then we bought the poster for $5 for the cause. I would have folded that fucking foil at Ball Arena if we had put together enough money to buy one. Okay. It's funny because like that's what people think about. And then it's cool because
You could probably get one for half price now.
well then I feel like it's not like
I'm kidding.
so
It's gotta be in line.
for the game you gotta do it at the spot because
Absolutely.
think about that poor bastard that really wanted it and I just ruined it. Right? Like triggered. Fuck. Like, God, I am an asshole. That's fucking terrible that I even think about that, right? But it was dope because I would think that like artists would be like pissed off about it. And every single one of them were like, that's fucking awesome. And I got a Tom Shaw and Owen Murphy did these dope waves. And I bought one of them. And then Tom was like, hey, do you want me to roll that up for you? And Owen's like, he's probably just gonna fold it anyways. And then Tom Shaw goes, wait, you're the fucking guy? And so it was pretty fucking cool, right? And it's like I have so many posters of these artists, and then for some dumb shit, they're like, fuck, okay, that's pretty cool.
I was also pretty excited at the Sweetwater event. I got to meet the artist who did the Goose Conscious Alliance Sphinx poster inspired by her German Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
poster.
I have a German Shepherd, and other Shepherd owners were just kind of like kindred spirits. So it was really cool to talk with her and get to know her.
Yeah, he says really cool. I walk up, and this motherfucker.
Did you guys talk about Jesus too?
From Milwaukee
Greg,
to his house.
Don't
He's like,
fold.
hey,
No,
what's
I was inviting her to a dog park to take our dogs. Come
yeah,
on, man.
fucking 8
Yeah,
hours
don't-
away.
Talk
Don't listen
about
to
Rick
Jared,
and
man.
Pete.
I'm with you, Greg, man. It's Goose, man. Let's go.
It's Goose. You guys
I love
love
Goose.
Jesus and you love
Come on.
German Shepherds. There's a
Got Goose
problem.
right there.
Listen, we're going to talk about the class system of Goose and then some upcoming episodes. I'll make sure to have both of you followers and believers in there.
Please, yeah.
I
Great.
just want a free Gonzo ticket because in their Facebook ads, there is a promotion with Mr. Justin Shook in the front and this fucking hat dead center in the middle. And they didn't ask for my permission and they never answer my messages about doing the podcast. So either I'm going to shit on Goose or somebody's going to come on and talk to me.
Well,
Somebody.
you're screaming at them. We can see that hat. If you're around Cody in a concert, when Rick or Billy starts ripping it, Cody's going, let's go, and started screaming at the guys. So yeah, they're
I definitely scared the shit out of some people. Fucking Kentucky Mandolin first night. Baby Bird. Set my Baby Bird.
I wondered.
Good,
Cody, I wondered how excited you were to see Kentucky Mandolin.
Kentucky
because I saw the song on the set list and was like, I bet Cody lost his fucking shit.
Bro. I fucking did. Yeah. Because remember earlier I was talking about straight leg bounce versus inside out bounce? It was inside out leg twist, and bounce, he just fucking murdered that thing.
Man, he's phenomenal.
Dude, first night was fucking awesome. First night was so great.
I have heard Jared Walker is all right on the mandolin.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of knows. He's all right. So we went to that Sweetwater event. It was dope. We actually got a free poster, and Jared's like, what the fuck? You guys got free posters? And we're like, yep, sorry, bud.
Guess I should have went.
Yeah. So then we went back to the hotel. The boys were going to take a nap. And then I had some dude message me the day before, like, hey, how long are you in Atlanta? I was like, Sunday morning. I'm only here for the 2 Billy shows, and I'm getting the fuck out. And he's like, hey, I'd really love to come and interview you for the podcast. And I was like, I don't know where you want to do that. I was like, there's 4 dudes in a hotel room. I can try to, and he's like, it's just audio. Come check it out. And so
I got to listen to this shit.
So this guy's name's Ario, and he was super fucking cool. He runs a podcast called True Conversations. And it was literally very similar to what we do, but he just asked, and I talked for fucking 2 hours. I cried.
I was walking around in my underwear trying not to be loud as you guys were podcasting.
Let's be real. Greg walks in and turn to the side, Greg. Turn to the side. Greg got that fucking Atlanta fade, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, nice.
Greg got
you told us that earlier. That's a ball fade right there. That is an ATL ball fade.
Bro, he got lined up. Greg came back.
And he did not have a fade before.
No. And we're like, God damn, bro. Like, fucking leave some for the rest of us. He's walking around with his underwear and his new haircut, and I'm just talking to this dude. We're having a great conversation. I get a little teary-eyed talking about my kids and Telluride Bluegrass Festival, but it was super cool, and I felt like he did a really good job of getting me to like tell my story and what's going on. He really wanted to talk to Shay, but fuck Shay, and so he.
I'm gonna message this guy and be like, listen, everything he said is a lie.
Yeah.
Come to me for the real story.
I can tell he is already more of a fan of you than he was of me. But,
how?
But then during our conversation, I think personality-wise it matched up. And then during our conversation, he's like, oh, yeah. Because like eventually I was like, yeah, I am the same person in the podcast that I am in real life. And he's like, yeah, I can see that. So like he was riled up, and it was super cool. And I felt like it was a good opportunity for me to talk about like myself in the way that people can understand, because how we talked about before, where people perceive who they think I am, I would challenge any one of them to listen to that fucking podcast and then tell me what you think of me, because I truly did answer as genuinely and as real as possible, and it was fucking great. It was super cool. And then we were done, and we had to go straight to the line, right, boys? And it was funny because we got to the line a little bit earlier. They do the first 100, and now they're doing a raffle. So they raffle one number, and now if it's number 33, that 33 becomes number 1, and then 32 would be 100.
100.
Huh, that's interesting. Okay. I like that.
So just so that's people understand, you go early, 10 o'clock, get your wristband. It's a separate wristband, numbered, and then Carlos comes up, pulls a number. So we're out there, we're hanging out. Smiley's obviously at the front of the general line, and a bunch of evangelicals come up. Okay. And not only is there a ton of people at State Farm for Billy Strings, the soccer team, I think, are they called the United?
I think so, yes.
Football team, the Atlanta United, they play at the Mercedes, which is the football stadium. It's right across
right
the highway.
Next door.
But they walk right past State Farm. So there's five evangelicals just bellowing out the Lord's word. And it was great because the crowd started getting back and forth. There was a Jared Walker chant at one point. Somebody was handing out little baby Jesuses, and then
this is like when that RFK guy was talking to us in line at fucking Fiddler's.
Yeah, I pointed it out because they were exactly like a bluegrass band, because like one guy would talk and then it would go down the line, and this guy would get his solo, and then this guy would get his solo, and then this guy would talk, and you would see who was doing what. And then people were like, speak louder, we can't hear you. Like, it was pretty good. But the best part
of some goose.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that Rick wasn't ripping in the background. But what was fucking great was Smiley walks up to us and he goes, they don't know, but we be knowing, bud. And we fucking lost it. Cause it was like, everybody talked about Billy being a cult. And we're like, he's our apostle, right? And so all night we're fucked up. We're really like, they don't know what we be knowing, bud.
Thank you, Smiley, man. Yeah. You're the dude.
So that was fun. Fucking the security at Atlanta sucks balls. They make you go through a metal detector, but then they also make you scan your bag or wallet or hat through.
Oh, you mean like at the airport?
Yes, dude. Yeah. It is.
Fuck that.
It takes forever. So not only did we...
Same thing at MSG if you guys are going to Goose there, boys.
Great.
Just be prepared.
Good luck.
Like in all seriousness, same shit.
But so
Jerry,
what's
we're going, buddy.
We were trying to get there to get a little bit closer in pit than we were the night before. Not that we were very far back, but we just wanted to get a little bit closer. And so then we had 2-day passes, and then we go to check in after the security, and all of the 2-day passes weren't scanning through. And so they're like, hey, you guys have to wait here. So it was like 10 minutes and people are just flowing past us. Luckily, Nolan had a single day, so we got him in, but he's the smallest one of all of us. And he went and got us a spot. But it was kind of a shit show getting in there. That venue is fucking beautiful. It
is really nice.
It is super nice. It is open. Mm-hmm. The sound quality was amazing. I felt like they did a great job. Not that it was bad in Ball Arena, but I know you guys remember some of that stuff got like a little tinny or echoey, and then they had to fix it.
Yeah.
We never had any of that at Atlanta. And so we were talking, it was funny, an anesthesiologist came up to us and was standing behind us. And it's cool to see the different people that you meet, and like,
I don't know if I ever told you this, but the guy that camped next to us at Renewal was a general surgeon, and during I'm obviously not going to drop his name, but like, you talk about somebody just standing there and telling all of the wooks in circumference what the effects of the drugs they were taking are, and then being like, yeah, I can't party tonight because I have to insert surgery here. The people you meet at these shows, all over the spectrum.
Dude, it is insane. Cause like we were seeing like doctors, we saw like Alabama frat boys. There was groomers for Nolan. There was a lot. And obviously there's a lot of the same like traveling crew too, but I felt like we had a lot of space on the floor. It wasn't like super like, in some of these Colorado shows, it's like shoulder to shoulder and you have no space. We could like dance around and move. And so we were predicting, since it went a little heavy and a little psychedelic on Friday, we're like, we're getting some more traditional bluegrass tonight. And we were fucking right. And it was a banger. And that show was a whole lot of fun. And it's great because you watch them having fun, right? And we had talked about earlier, like, do they have the energy to do this? And they definitely have it, right? And I don't know if maybe now that they're not touring like straight through all the time, and now they're just playing like Friday, Saturday, Friday to Sunday, and having some of this stuff in the week off to make it easier for them. And maybe now they don't have to run these fucking buses. Cause I was talking to Toby and I was like, hey man, do you guys like fly home and then fly back? And he was saying that they were doing some stuff this week, or normally he would fly back and go. So all these guys get to like recharge, see their families, do some shit, and then come back and get after it. For me, the first set, obviously, was Wargasm. Dude, I was scaring people with how much I was yelling.
I haven't gotten to that yet because I'm gonna listen. I'll probably listen to the second night tomorrow, since I wasn't there. But I've had multiple people text me, be like, buddy, the Wargasm on night 2 in Atlanta was ridiculous.
But that one was special. That was the first song of Billy's I've ever heard. I watched that Capitol Theater video where the theater is empty during COVID, and that's the song they're playing. That was the first time I ever heard a Billy song, and I just love that song. And they just ripped it. They jammed it out
song.
Really good.
Like lyrically, the music, everything. That's one of my top. Like if I have to like pick like a top 5 of their songs, I'll say that is in the top 5, not the studio version. but the live version
Wait,
is pretty great.
I'm waiting for Rumor to jump out one day and do.
Dude, let me be honest. If I would fucking love that,
It would be
it
so
would not.
fucking sick. So shit
But
on that
let's be
studio
clear.
album all you want. But
I
when
will.
that
It will.
happens, we're all gonna fucking lose it.
I'm gonna love it. But the thing is why I want that to happen is because if he comes out and does that section like he does in the fucking studio version, it's gonna completely change the vibe and be super fucking weird. And I hope it's at a show I'm at, because that would be like, even not, yeah, dude, that would be incredible. I would love to know the story behind, like, why does this one single have a rap section?
I need to.
Because I've never looked into it. It might be out there. I don't know. That just seems like a really weird, random thing, and it strikes me as one of those things where they're like probably smoking weed together, and they're like, "Hey, let's make a song." And they're like, "All right, cool," and then that's what you get, like, which is great. But if they ever did that live, that would be fucking hilarious.
Somebody needs to get Billy on here so we can ask him. Maybe
I don't know anybody.
Yeah,
Good question.
We'll figure that out someday, maybe.
Get on it, boys.
But also for
before he
Wargasm,
really blew up, I think mixing with different artists from different genres certainly is a good way to get more exposure and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's I just remember when that single came out, because wasn't that the first thing they put out before Renewal came out? Yeah, I remember thinking, I don't hate it, but I don't want this to be the vibe of the entire album. And then the album is, first of all, that's its own thing. Orgasm's its own thing. It's over here. It's not even on Renewal. And then Renewal's over here. And I was like, all right, well, I don't hate it. That's weird. That's cool. And then I remember the first time I heard that song live, I was like, holy shit.
So what we
yeah.
were talking about was there was a Wargasm at First Bank, and I had brought in a giant confetti cannon.
I think that was at Mission.
That was me.
That was at Mission.
Dude, that was fucking...
That was the first Red Rocks year, right?
Yeah, it was the first Red Rocks year, and it was at the Mission, or was
maybe it was the second.
It was
it was the second Red Rocks year.
That was the second Red Rocks year.
Yeah, because Nolan was there.
Yeah,
it was his last.
So I brought this fucking thing, and I was all kinds of messed up telling these boys the importance of timing. The importance of timing.
Oh, you know what? We have talked about this, and I'm pretty sure I was standing adjacent to you at that show when you did that.
That's so fucking
Which is funny, because I didn't know who you were at that point somehow.
But we were connected by the vibes. So we were talking about that that confetti pop, because I had Nolan videotape it, and it was like so epic. And that was before any of this shit, and I loved that song already. So then the fact that like the podcast is named after that song, and like the political environment and what's going on, and like how heavy this is, it's super cool and a super powerful song. And it was so great to hear live, and it was like they opened ball with it, and then they played it again. Like, yes, please, like, let's go.
Yes.
So that ended the second set, and then we roll into the first set. But what else was there? There was some other...
That ended the first set.
Yeah, I know.
That
what
was the end of the first
set.
The first set, I'll just run through real quick. My Little Georgia Rose, Cabin Song, Heartbeat of America, Streamline Cannonball, In the Morning Light, Ernest T. Grass, which is great, Know It All, Broomstraw Philosophers, and
the Philosophers,
Cone Wine.
bro.
Yeah.
Philosophers.
Leaning on a Traveling Song, fucking Home, Drifting with the Tide, into Wargasm. That was the first set that night.
Was that?
It was so good. It was so fucking good.
Honestly, the entire fucking set list from that weekend is like John Deere Tractor, which I don't...
Bro, so what's funny was I was
times.
doing my lawnmower dance all weekend long, being like, I'm waiting for my John Deere Tractor. And then...
You knew it was coming.
Dude, and then it happened, and it was like... fucking John Deere Tractor. And yeah, dude. But that was also the second set was
set two,
right? Or was that first set?
A John Deere Tractor was it was the next to last song. John Deere Tractor into Highway Hypnosis for set 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then that encore was Nutshell into Red Red Rocking Chair.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen. So I had sent, because Cabin Song was played at some point in that show, right? And so that is currently my oldest daughter's favorite song. So I had videotaped it and sent it to my wife, and I said, show this to Logan. And right before Nutshell was playing, I looked at my phone and I could read what it was saying. And Nicole said, Stella's crying. Can you send a video for her? And so I am trying to cycle through videos on my phone, and she loves Know It All. So then I got Know It All and I sent it off to her. But that is as the first 3 or 4 notes are of Nutshell are being played, and I'm like full blown like daddy mode, like trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then immediately I look up and Jared's like, did anybody else not fucking hear it? And it was like, my God, we're getting it. And
dude, I listened to it when I saw that was a shit. And what I love about this version is that for whatever difference there is for how they do their process, the sound quality on it's really fucking good on the Nug stream.
And his voice, like his pitch,
it's perfect,
dude. And it's not just that, like some of the old timey tunes that he sang in that same day and getting like that twangy high pitched voice and going into Nutshell and like showing his range is so insane how good.
I'm not imagining this right. He's starting to hit more and more of those higher and higher notes.
I feel like he has to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, this is a disclaimer to everybody out there. I am not an audiophile. I'm a videophile. So like I have a decent sense of like sound and like tone and pitch and things like that. But like where I excel is like, you know, seeing like, oh, this TV versus this TV looks better. I don't have a good ear for a lot of stuff. And then but then like I've noticed that even me is that his pitches have gone, like especially with like the newer versions when he plays Psycho now. It's a little higher, it's a little more dynamic. It's interesting to see
more
the change.
Too.
Yeah, definitely more confidence.
Yeah, man, it's fucking insane, and it's great because like you just see them continuing to add and add and add. What was it? Fireline.
Mm-hmm.
Alex's solo in Fireline was phenomenal.
Fortunate.
What's up?
He was just torching that solo on Fireline. It was insane.
Yeah, no, he and it's so cool because like, oh, and that was another thing I wanted to talk about, which was kind of odd. But they were talking about a different fiddle player. Greg and I used to talk about this all the time. One of my favorite shows was a Billy String show with Michael Cleveland that was actually in Atlanta before they had gotten Alex full time. Because I used to always talk about how the fucking fiddle just makes it that much better. And obviously now we're a year and a half into having Alex or whatever. But it adds such a different dynamic to the band. But it was really weird. I think it was day one. Because they played that Dell song. So they talked about Jason Carter leaving Del McCoury.
I have to say, like aside from because one of my most vivid memories of a bluegrass show, and it was one of those memories where it's like, holy shit, this is why I do this, was seeing the Travel McCourys, obviously with Jason McCarter, at Winter Wondergrass when Billy Strings was the headliner in 2020. And it's one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. And for those of you that don't know, Jason McCoury has parted ways
Jason Carter
has parted ways with
Del
all the
McCoury.
McCoury, all that shit. And yeah, the Travel McCourys and Del McCoury band, which is wild because they've played for like 30 plus years together. And the fact that Billy brought that up in the middle of the show kind of shows you what a seismic shift in the bluegrass scene, landscape, whatever phrase you want to use. That's nuts.
Yeah, no, and I know Michael Cleveland and Jason Carter are coming out with a new album. One of our next guests, Chris Henry, which we would have interviewed yesterday on Sunday, had my flight not been delayed multiple hours.
For the record, I was ready for it. I texted Cody about it.
And it wasn't happening because I was stuck in Atlanta because of mechanical issues on the frontier. But so actually, Chris Henry just went down and played with them in Florida. So I'm interested to talk to him about that. So the Billy shows were fucking amazing. Everybody was great. We had to go back for a puke break night 2 to the hotel because I was not feeling good. I was not feeling good. I knew I wasn't feeling good. Oh, some fucking lady ran up to me. I was still wearing the bright yellow jacket, and she's like, hey, can I fangirl? Can I take a selfie? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I may not look at the camera, but yeah, let's play. But so then I was very surprised at how weak the nitrous game was in Atlanta. They were
Dude,
little rinky dink, and that's not my game.
Are you judging that against Denver? Because Denver is fucking out of control.
Epic. Yes, I know. But dude,
it is fucking out of control.
It was literally the little birthday balloons for $10. Like it was, and I was like, bro, like come on. And it's all I kept thinking about was the homeless breath story from Berkeley and how those guys in Atlanta needed to start picking up those balloons and selling them themselves. So we ran,
filling it up with their own breath.
Yes, and selling them. That's genius, right? That's called a hustle.
For those that don't know, yeah, it's awesome.
So we ran back past
dog.
What's up?
I think I saw that homeless dog that attacked me doing that. He was selling those balloons.
Of course he was. So we ran back past the shit bridge, went and I violently relieved myself, and then we got in an Uber and we went to Shadowgrass. And so Shadowgrass was playing it.
You didn't fucking tell me that.
Oh, dude, yeah, what? You would have
killed me?
Dude, fucking flamethrowers. They played Cold Rain. They played Cold Rain and Snow. They played Fire on the Mountain.
Jared.
They played Ruben's Train. Those fucking kids are amazing. They have a new album. They're playing in Denver on the 6th and 7th at Globe Hall. So any of the local folk, let's go.
I've got a 2-day pass for those. I'll be there. It's going to be awful the next day at work. Yeah, and then they're playing in Colorado Springs, and Magoo's opening for them, and they're going to be at Wintergrass. Those boys are everywhere.
As they should be. And Gal.
Yeah, for sure.
The Gal, the fiddle player. But
yes, sorry.
Kaiser, Madison. Kurt Russell, they're all fucking flamethrowers. They're absolute rippers. And so we had a bunch of fun, and then we ended up going back home, watching some more reality TV, and then Nolan literally had he's the idiot that takes a 6 a.m. flight home after 2 shows, and his alarm is going off at 4 a.m, and we're all fucking yelling at him.
I might have strangled him to death.
And then he just turned it off and fell asleep. So I woke up to go...
Did he hit his...
I woke up to take a piss at 6:30. I woke up to take a piss at 6:30. I came back. I saw that the light was coming up. And I look at my phone and I'm like, it's fucking 6:30. And Nolan's over there sawing logs. And then he's like, what? I'm up. And then he's like, oh, my Uber just canceled on me. It's 17 minutes till it gets here, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, this fucking kid is never making it back home, right? Like, totally not happening. But somehow he did it. He made it back home. He got in the Uber.
The guy's a monster.
He is a monster. And
he is.
He's a team player. He almost got groomed. He wore an amazing shirt. There's definitely fun that was had with Nolan that weekend. So we appreciate all that. We're looking forward to the next one with you guys, and we got to figure that out. But Jared and I eventually got home after a few hours delays, and it was fucked. So obviously this is coming out a little bit late. Had some other stuff pushed, but we're super stoked. I am excited to see what Billy does in Nashville, whether he's going to be doing sit-ins or what's going on. I am interested for one last thing to hear from Greg, because I know he has seen Goose a lot regularly. And what was the last Billy show that you went to with us? And then
the last Billy show I went to was at the Armory, but it wasn't with you guys. The last one I went with you, I can't even remember.
It had to have been that mission show we were just talking about, that Red Rocks and Mission run.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that would have been 2023? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guilt trip was hard. I was like, fuck you, dude. You don't even hang out with me anymore. I'm
going on 2 years.
Greg came down to visit me when I was living abroad in Mexico, and I put on a Goose show. And I was like, you need to listen to this. And now Greg is a fucking super fan. He is Goose's Smiley, showing up to shows in robes.
Well, something happened in 2021 in the summertime. I was in a kind of a bad spot. I was very overweight, which has been a problem my whole life. And something finally clicked for me where I was able to find ways to take care of myself for me instead of finding external motivators, like trying to, lose weight for my kids or my wife. Now I finally was doing it for me. And at the same time, Cody introduced me to Billy String's music shortly after Goose's music, and I saw my first Billy show in November of 21 and my first Goose show in January of 2, and since I've seen Billy 17 times now and Goose 24, and I'm just so grateful. They're like like little fire plugs for my motivation. Like I'm motivated myself. I've built myself up and found ways to take care of myself. But every time I go to a show, it's like a little burst of energy that keeps fueling me to keep improving myself and be better. And it's like going to these shows is like, it's like a self-improvement therapy group in a way. It's kind of a wild one, but
which you would not if you were at the show.
Yeah,
No.
but those of us that are part of this community and in the scene, we know exactly what he's talking about.
Yep,
Right?
100%.
And that's why it's so great. And that's why I want to reiterate that I love this community and I love what we're doing in this community. I love that we were able to go thousands of miles away and it was a very similar community with similar vibes and we fucking had an amazing time. And so I was super stoked that Greg was able to travel with us, meet us, have a great boys trip and get shit done. And so I wanted to come on, have this episode so that we could chat about it and see what's coming next. We have a lot of shit that we are going to start doing. I also want to let people know that you will start seeing, believe it or not, some merch that's going to be coming out soon.
Ooh, buddy.
So the only fucking reason that I am doing any merch at all is because I need to fucking level up our game.
We need to look.
Yeah, I don't want you to pay for it. Because Shay's like,
no, fuck you. That's so you can hold it over my head. But like, yeah, we need better equipment.
We do.
I'm tired of hearing the feedback of you sound like shit. That's great, but like, shit's not cheap. So like, yeah, that's coming.
We don't need a lot, but what we are going to do is we're going to try to fund some of those improvements on equipment because we have some fucking huge interviews coming up. And I do not want to be fucking around with microphones like I did with Andy Frasco.
I was about to say, sorry, Andy.
Yeah, sorry, bud. Fuck. But so we've had some amazing fans that have reached out to help us with some designs. We've made some other stuff and we would love your guys' support for those people that listen to What's the Reason for This as we continue to grow this and level up. I didn't want to quote unquote sell out, but I do know that we need to make these improvements and what we need is better equipment and we need to know what the fuck we're doing. We have great people that are offering the help and now we just got to get the equipment and get there. And in the next couple of weeks, you will see Peter Rowan, Chris Henry, John Stickley, Scramble Campbell. We have a fuckload of people that are now accepting our requests. We have some huge interviews coming this summer. So I could not be more stoked for this. I fucking love it. I love you guys and I appreciate everything that you guys do for us and for the podcast. We're going to continue to do interviews, but I want to start building more community and bringing other people on and sharing other people's experience and learning what's going on and getting shit done. So I love you guys and we'll see you next week.
I want to say one thing real quick right at the end. Speaking of community, I just want to congratulate my homies over in Magoo opening for Billy Failing. That's a big deal.
Fuck, hold on. You were
we didn't even talk about it, dude.
Yeah, we got a double shirt Magoo. And remember I talked about the dude that drove an hour to give me an interview? His last question to me was, hey, what's a band that you love or somebody that I wouldn't have known or heard about? And I spent 10 minutes talking about the boys. I talked about Magoo. And now fucking promote the shit out of them because...
Let's promote the shit out of this. Those guys are going to open for fucking Billy Failing at the Fox Theater on, 26th
and then
of
10
March?
Mile in Frisco.
Yeah, and then 10 Mile in Frisco. It's going to be a fucking barn burner. We're all going to be there. You should too. So just
here with the Dobro, man.
Big shout out, dude.
That's not just it, because they're also playing shows with Shadowgrass. They are playing a show with Head for the Hills at the Mishawaka in May.
Yep.
These guys are fucking
so fun.
all over the place.
Dude.
If you see Magoo, you may see them on the bottom of some of these festivals, but in these next
they're going to be in Winter Wondergrass, dude.
They're just going to keep fucking
They're playing
rising.
a late Friday night at Winter Wondergrass. They are playing a late night set at the Press.
$10.
In $10. And I'll be honest, I've talked to my buddies. A lot of us are going to dip out a little early to get over there and get a good spot. It's going to be a fucking banger of a show. Check these guys out.
So we love you boys. We love the boys of Magoo. Thank you everybody for the support, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. See y'all later.